going. Stop, pause. And it looks like it's starting over there. Okay. And I think my computer's going slow. Okay. There we go. All right, guys. Thank you for everyone joining in on this weekly coherence meditation. We sincerely appreciate everybody coming together within our community here, and we welcome everybody else to join in as well. So if you find this useful, please do share this out to whoever that you feel can benefit from this. We hold these coherence meditations every Tuesday at 6 p.m. Eastern, 3 p.m. Pacific. We have our main channel over on YouTube, over here at the Gaia Community channel. Just go ahead and click that QR code right there. And over here on the left, you can always find the latest links to our Zooms. Okay, we restream out to YouTube and Facebook, and we hold our live Zoom on Zoom. Our live stream on Zoom. Everybody is more than welcome. Please come on and join us as we meditate live. We also have the calendar invite. If you want to click on that link right there, you can add it to your calendar to get weekly reminders prior to us joining this. And please do join the email newsletter while you're over there as well. So our new format, just in the past several weeks that we're doing these weekly coherence meditations, the first 10 or 15 minutes, we'll have some brief discussions, and then we'll dive right into it. And we will often get so deep, I guess. As a matter of fact, last week I was kind of deep, and I didn't realize everybody else left, but we ended, and I was still on for several minutes afterwards. And then, I was pretty deep. So by all means, at the end, just if you are deep, continue on your own. We do encourage everyone to do this as a daily practice. Just take some time out of your day and do these. The recordings are also available over on the right here on the Cosmic Gaia Community channel on YouTube. Feel free to visit those. We are working on still condensing those and putting those onto, in a more condensed format on a podcast and whatnot. So with that said, I guess let's see here. Other notes, housekeeping items. If you do have additional topics, feel free to comment on the videos while you're over there on Facebook and YouTube. Do like, share, subscribe. And this week's title is, Coalescing Energies, Nurturing Trust Through Meditation. So get ready, guys. Mute your devices, get comfortable, relax, grab some water, and off to you, Seth.
Thank you, Greg. I really, really appreciate that. And my gosh, these QR codes. First time I've ever had that for anything. So thank you for taking the time to do that. Definitely the more streamlined we can get, the easier it is to reach people who may not be that great on technology. So thank you for that.
Anytime. And you might actually, if you do take it with your phone, you might need to cover up with one hand on the one QR code so it doesn't detect the other one. So
cool. Awesome.
Cool.
So you know what, too, before we kind of get into this a little bit, if anybody, I'm thinking like a brief survey here. Do you prefer that when we come online, we just get right into the meditation? Or would you guys rather, we just kind of like have a discussion, like Greg said, and then bit by bit, we'll merge into the meditation? So either way, whatever you guys prefer. I know that some people would like to have, get on, meditate, and then they go. And some people want to talk. and they're all great options. We're just gonna figure out what the best is for now. So if anybody wants to comment or anything at all about that, we would love it. And
Yeah,
if
I
not, yeah, go
actually
ahead.
during our last call, our team meeting this past weekend, I actually thought about, I didn't bring it up, but I think that maybe we should send out a survey to everyone.
Good call. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, yeah, because we want to streamline this for everyone and make it so that everybody gets the most out of it. So with that said, like Greg asked, get some water, relax, just totally just let your entire nervous system just, so everything in your body, everything that you feel, intentionally just send the signal to all of it at once to relax. And this week, we're going to do something a little bit different than we usually do. And the topic of it tonight is great because we're turning suffering into a trust of life, to learn how to trust life and to take the parts of ourselves that we either know is suffering or maybe that we don't even know. You know, maybe we have just created so much of an unconscious habit focusing on stress that we are normalized to just identify with that regularly. And we think it's who we are. We just think we're stressed out, we're suffering, we're struggling. And in many ways, this is what our Western world normalizes. They've literally made it, you could say, consumer business to be in a state of struggle and stress. And honestly, every single thing that we could ever do is about the habit. You know, a lot of people, like, take singing, for instance. There's people who are born who have incredible voices. And at the same time, if you have an incredible voice, it doesn't mean you're an incredible artist. And so when we take what we are, when we take who we are, we start to be really honest with our stress response. And we start to be really honest with, where am I struggling and how did I get to be struggling? And when you do that, you can literally start to transform those parts of yourself that were created through unconscious habits, just by continuously focusing on stress, on anxiety, struggle. And when we keep focusing on that unconsciously, we literally create neural networks all through our brain and body. And the energy of our body, where attention goes, energy flows. And so all these neural networks take the flow of our life force. And it's so easy for that energy to just keep revisiting the same neural networks that we built unconsciously. And the more we do it, the more normal it becomes, until, as I said, we start to just believe that our suffering and our struggle is who we are. And the beautiful thing is when we reverse that process, when we start to pay attention to our ability to form conscious habits, which is what we're doing here. We're all getting together. Just by showing up here, you're installing new neural networks in your brain based upon your conscious willingness to tune into your possibility, tune to your health. And the more we intentionally, consciously build habits of coming together, those neural networks that we're installing, you could say, just here as a group, they get stronger. and they can get really strong. And then, some people are like, okay, well, what? I'm going to walk around in a state of relaxation all the time. I'm just going to always be in a state of Zen or peace. And the answer is interesting because by willingly choosing to build out neural networks in your brain and body that reflect your intention to feel at harmony with everything happening in our body and then eventually in the world, these habits, we get so good at it that we create a whole new perception of reality. And so all the energy that we went into unconsciously thinking about or feeling our suffering and our struggle, it doesn't have as much as an effect because you're actively creating new neural networks. And the beautiful part is when you get really good at doing it, by committing to doing it for a while, and then feeling these almost compounding effects, it's cumulative. The more you do it, the more it builds up. You eventually get to a place where you're so at peace with your nervous system, with your body, with everything in you, that you automatically start to override all of those old patterns of suffering. And then it's almost like this new set point, this standard that you have set for yourself, becomes so ingrained in your thoughts, beliefs, behaviors, and actions that becomes like a second and first nature. And this is where you hear about geniuses and people who are incredible artists or mathematicians or whatever. These people, most of the time, are creating a flow state that's been normalized inside of them. And so this is what we're doing together. And tonight we're going to do something a little different, which I'm looking forward to, because usually we focus on just building new neural networks based upon our intention to be complete, to be whole, to consciously be in harmony with the miracle that's causing our body to do things beyond the speed of light. But tonight we're going to do something else. We're going to make peace with what's there before we let it go, and then start focusing on creating harmony. Focus on taking our struggle and turning it into trusting life, because then we're not the victim anymore. We become the victor, the empowered one. So we're going to start in a minute or two here. But if anybody has any questions, or Greg, if you have anything you want to mention, let's do that. And if you haven't gotten water, grab a glass, a cup, a bottle, mud puddle, depending on. Do you see any? Oop, you're on mute, Greg. Still on mute.
Oh, I didn't have my microphone next to my mouth. No, I didn't have anything to add, but I think that was just a beautiful lead in, and I think that's actually a good, perfect format. I mean, just for us to, lead that in and then just go directly in coherence meditation.
Absolutely. And everybody listening, if you guys, we'll probably send out a survey like Greg was saying, but if you prefer that, 6 p.m. Eastern, 3 p.m. Pacific, what is it, 2 p.m. Mountain, if you'd rather we just start with the meditation without, a public discussion, let us know, because we want to be efficient with time for everybody.
Yeah, we're also trying to work in maybe like maybe a bi-weekly or something, just kind of get together on a private Zoom, probably not broadcasted to social outlets, just so we're kind of private over there. Yeah. And with any kind of Q&As, that way we can focus on this.
Yeah. So just let us know and we'll go with the flow and we'll make it happen. Anybody on YouTube or Facebook or any of those channels have any questions, Greg? Can you see? I can't see where I am.
If anybody does, just feel free to put it in the chat. I'll get it over here and I'll relay it right through. So yeah, we do have a lot of interesting things. We just had a team meeting again this past weekend, and one of the things I mentioned even I think 2 weeks ago are like these little things, which kind of been playing around with on my own, and emitting frequencies and placing left and right speaker, while we're uh, doing the coherence meditation and putting out certain frequencies. It actually got me in a little bit of a deep trance, I guess, towards the end of the last week. So it's kind of cool.
That's great. Yeah, little things like that. We'll keep experimenting with new possibilities on our end, and we'll share them with you guys. So, all right. With that said, wherever you are sitting, laying down, and you could even stand up if you really wanted to, but we'll do more on that stuff down the road, because you can get into coherence, and then the way you walk around, the way you communicate, your entire life can be a reflection of you sustaining those highly coherent states that are actually way more normal than anything else. But again, we unconsciously created that. And so now we're consciously recreating it to take all the things that have held us back and transform it into trusting life. Even if things happen and we feel like a victim, we feel stuck, start to suffer, we can literally learn to trust life so that when situations arise that are not comfortable for us, can trust life so much that the lesson often goes through and leaves our system a lot quicker. And that's what we're doing here together. So wherever you are, whatever you're sitting or laying down on, let that be your closest best friend that's external of you. We're going to get you in coherence with all the systems of your body, all your organs, and those are your closest friends. But externally, let whatever it is that's holding you, just totally trust that it's going to hold you through this entire connection that we're all sharing. And as you begin to trust, just totally relax into it. Relax your body. You made an agreement with yourself, with the space you're in. And that agreement means that your entire being is going to be held where it is, safely, completely secure. And start to focus on your breathing. Take your mind and gently focus it on your inhales and exhales, and try to make them even. Few seconds on the inhale, few seconds on the exhale. Or if somebody is really skilled and they want to breathe longer, you can do whatever you want. Let's just keep it rhythmic, even in, even out. Very easy. And as we always do, smile from the inside out. put an actual smile on your face if you need to, and feel what that feels like from inside of your heart. By smiling, if you feel happy or joyful or grateful, whatever you feel when you do that, let the coherent field of your heart amplify that feeling so that it reverberates through every part of your body, from the smallest levels to the greatest levels. Let yourself feel that feeling of you in an uplifted mood. And while you're breathing and you're in your heart, and you're smiling, and you're feeling that in your heart, again, let your heart amplify that feeling. Let every part of your physical body be bathed in that feeling. You are generating a frequency by feeling what it's like to feel gratitude, to feel joy. And it's not fake. As soon as you start doing this, you are already building neural networks in your heart, in your brain, in your gut. You are literally building neural networks all through you, that through your smile, through the feeling of your smile, you're giving those new neural networks, these maps of neurons, firing and wiring together. The joy you feel from your smile is interwoven inside these neural networks. And so you're not just creating neural networks, you're charging them with your own love. And that makes them even stronger. And it makes you, if not now, then with practice soon, it'll make you want to continuously revisit this internal process. Because the longer you can sustain this, parts of you begin to come back in your body. Things that maybe you forgot and that are now reminding you. A power that is already there. The innate intelligence of your body that knows how to do all of these complex and miraculous things and actions and function. When you let yourself, who you are, part of you that suffers, when you let that part of you become influenced by the innate intelligence that is already there, when you let yourself be influenced by what is already there, you start to get a lot more aware. You start to get a lot more sensitive. And at the same time, you begin to become stronger because you're taking all that you are and you are consciously attuning your sense of awareness, your sense of self. You are tuning it to what is happening, the real news, the miracle of life that everybody and everything is, but that maybe for a brief few moments in the span of time, we've forgotten. But now we're remembering, and we're coming together with others in community because many are beginning to recognize, to realize that there's something beyond incredible happening. And though we may not know where, we sense that it's inside of us. And so together, we are taking responsibility for our perception. We are intentionally allowing that intention to resonate, reverberate throughout our entire body. That intention with the willingness to feel an uplifted feeling while we create a new sense of self inspired by the life force that we all already are. And then through our shared community and these practices that we do, we're role modeling this. We are embodying it, and we are naturally role modeling it because calm frequencies perceived through a body of self-love, through a heightened frequency of willingness to show up right here, right now, in your body. You're in a kinesthetic state. You are feeling a lot more than you're thinking. And even the words that are being said, listen to them. And at the same time, feel the space between the words. And so if you are in a relaxed state, if you are breathing rhythmically, gently, if you are smiling, whether it's just you know how to turn a happy feeling on inside of you, or you are actually smiling, whatever that uplifted emotion is, embrace it. Let it embrace you. And while all of that is happening, just scan your body. And no matter what the story of your struggle is, no matter what you tell yourself when you begin to feel panic or anxiety, and that when those feelings go on for too long, they begin to turn into a habit that without even thinking about it, we continue to revisit because we're so used to the feelings that that unconscious habit creates. that it becomes like our default mode, state of being, and who we are. Our sense of self can be so influenced by that feeling that we begin to accept that our personality is wrought with suffering. And now we're choosing to be conscious of the same feelings we were unconscious of. Being conscious of the choice to create elevated states of being that also produce and receive profound surges of energy, but energy that is filled with awe and wonder. It's filled with you choosing to smile through your entire being while you're keeping your eye or your sensory feelings on your breath, feeling your breath meet and respond to every part of your mouth, all the way down as far as you can feel. And if you can't feel, then you're simply creating a habit that will eventually allow you to feel. And whatever story you tell yourself about suffering, sense where in your body you would hold the most amount of that suffering. And if you can feel a specific part of your body or a specific area, or maybe a few different areas where it could be, for now, just focus on where you feel you might be carrying your suffering the most. And really let yourself focus on that point or that place in your body. And while you're focusing on it, at the same time, completely relax your body and your nervous system around the part that is feeling that suffering. So let the suffering be surrounded by your own intention and ability to relax it. You are creating a relaxed feeling all around the suffering that you feel in a certain part of your body. Like your suffering is surrounded by ease, by being relaxed, calm. So that suffering really doesn't have a place to go, ultimately. And before you do let it go, kind of talk to it inside of yourself and acknowledge that it is where it is because it has formed for potentially countless different reasons. And the energy of that formation of struggle, of suffering, whatever it is that caused us to hold that feeling in our body, We're appreciating it. We are trusting that it happened because it needed to. And so we can look at a whole broad spectrum of reasons that you are feeling stress or pain. Whatever it is, you're creating a habit of trusting life so that you can focus on the parts of you that maybe were difficult to focus on. And you're creating peace all around it. Internal peace, calm, almost like an electric frequency that you're just letting neutralize your body. And if you're able to trust that this part of you, this suffering, if you can trust that it has been a teacher and that maybe it's been there to bring you to this moment where you are choosing to be a lot more aware of it with others who are also doing the same. Find a way to trust its place. And by acknowledging that to this part of you, acknowledging that your struggle, your suffering, you're acknowledging that you are grateful for its presence, to trust and to learn how to create healing as a result of it. Then tell that part of yourself to be at peace with the part of your being that you're focusing on. Before we let that go, we are going to ask that pain, that trauma, that drama, that stress, suffering, whatever it feels like to you, you are talking to it like it is your teacher. And you very clearly are saying to it, teach me what is going to help me to be at peace with you. And if it hurts or feels uncomfortable, instruct it. Say, please be as intense or painful or whatever it is that you are doing in an attempt to teach me to evolve by creating frequencies that are harmonious with your entire being and literally the cosmos that are flowing through all of us. You're asking that pain, that part of you, to give full expression of how dampening or upsetting it is. Come on, give it all you've got. Like really, really let it know that you are willing to be so present with the severity of what that part of you feels like. And if you can feel it, and it hurts or it's too intense, then just gently turn down your internal meter. And if you can't handle feeling the full expression of its suffering, just back off for a minute. But if you are able to feel that part and ask it, instruct it to give the full expression of what it is in your body with your willingness to feel it, then let it feel as intense as it needs to, just till it's gone. What happens in most situations is that when we choose to focus on a part of us that is painful or stress-induced, and we ask it to express whatever it is, no matter what it feels like in our body. When we do that, the memory of it, it's like a shooting star, it just lights up. And then it eventually, usually immediately, the intensity of it just starts to fade away on its own. And so we have allowed that part of ourselves to completely be where it is and why it is, and to express the full range of its purpose in our body. Continue to breathe gently, to smile, however big or small you want that smile to be. To just let your entire nervous system and energy field to just relax. Be in that space, because in that space you have also connected with a part of your suffering that you aren't pushing away at all. You are facing it, facing the part of you that's brought you to this point. And you're giving it the ability to express itself as full as it can and as you can handle. And like a bright, burning, shooting star, that suffering just expressed itself. And now it's beginning to dissipate. And it's dissipating into the feeling of calm that you have allowed yourself to perceive it from. And as that part of you dissipates and that field of relaxation, of calm, envelops that part of you, tell your suffering that you are grateful for its place and for whatever its reason to bring you to this point is. You are letting yourself know that you are grateful for it. And because you have felt it and it has dissipated, You are thanking it one last time before it goes. And the intentional and the physiological coherence that you are creating and enveloping with your awareness. You are wishing it goodbye peacefully. While you're calm and smiling, give yourself a pat on the back. These are the things that in our times, most don't ever have the opportunity to visit or to create coherent space so strong that anything out of coherence becomes entrained by the coherence that you are creating, and that is already in your body. And let yourself be conscious of your heart and the middle of your head. Let your attention be in both parts simultaneously. And let yourself begin to feel your pulse from your heartbeat in the middle of your head. Your heart and your brain together with your awareness now are a wonderful, fertile place for you to reintroduce the area where your struggle, where your stress was being held onto, mostly unconsciously. And now you are embracing that area with the natural coherence that is the harmony of your body, and that does become amplified by you giving your attention to it and letting that coherence influence your attention, your awareness. You are introducing the part of yourself that you just cleared out to the coherence of your entire body. And that for right now feels most powerful between your heart and the middle of your head. And if we suddenly were starting to be able to feel how much all these systems that are just in our head and our heart, the amount of information they are sharing together is so profound. It's so miraculous that it takes us to create awareness of the coherence that is already there and that the coherence itself begins to soothe parts of yourself that maybe aren't aware of it to the degree you know you're capable of. You know that you are increasing your amplitude and your perceptive muscles, your ability to start being able to perceive greater and greater levels of the natural communications that your heart and your brain are sending and receiving to each other. The more you train your awareness to be present with it, the more you start to be able to identify and recognize and perceive the energy that is causing all of this to happen. You're perceiving it and you're beginning to get a sense of how valuable this relationship is for you, for all the systems of your body, for your friends, family, loved ones, in the world, as you create the space to start being more aware of the priceless nature of the space that's already there, and the frequencies, the energies of the connection between all the parts and systems of your body and you as the person you are, choosing to let your personality become influenced by being conscious of this greater connectivity. It's almost like your being is the garden, and your intention is the seed that you have planted in you. And that by constantly revisiting it with your attention, like the sun shining on the plant, and then the feeling of it in your heart is the nutrients, the water that you are giving freely to this seed of self-awareness that you have intentionally planted into your perception of self and world, creating an environment where your own inner nature has the ability to thrive, to build the force of it even stronger than it is, while at the same time allowing your awareness to start becoming conscious of these greater amplitudes of life force that you are focusing on, that is already there, but that you are amplifying through the marriage of your perception and the energy that is empowering it. You are choosing to create and feel greater union in your being. And by doing this, by feeling a happy sense of peace. You are allowing all these systems to become even stronger, to flow more harmoniously. And by being conscious of this entire process, you are building up your ability to trust life. And this trust could be viewed as the most important relationship that any of us could ever have. Because it is married to the source that's allowing it to be. It is so dependent on being in harmony with its source that it might take a little bit getting used to. Person you believe yourself to be, person who allowed all of these unconscious stress and struggling responses throughout your entire body. You made the space unconsciously for that to happen. And now you are doing the exact opposite with the same formula. You are forming conscious habits in harmony with the majesty, the miracle of what this life force is in us. And through that marriage, through the most important relationship, our human self begins to be able to get a deeper view of this source energy that is already animating our being. And to get a greater view of it allows us to unlock abilities that were always there. Because the more we're able to perceive the energy that is giving our consciousness the ability to exist, the more aware of that we can become, the more we begin to consciously remember why we have come into this world, in these bodies. And the more we deepen our ability to be intimate and totally present with the life force that we all already are, the more you get to know this while you're consciously paying attention to it. At some point, your trust for that begins to reflect all throughout the health of your body and into the world around you. And when that happens, struggling, suffering, stress, they start to just bounce off of you, because you are no longer unconsciously indulging in the feelings that are a normal response to this energy, to the energy of our world that can cause suffering. We are creating much deeper levels of conscious awareness and connection to that we all are and will always be. And so that when enough of us who have unified our own internal view of this energy, when we start coming together with others who have unified this from within, we are changing the course of human development collectively, because we are choosing to change the trajectory of what brought us into unconsciously holding on to pain. And through our consciousness, we're creating a new sense of self that deflects the old energies that affected us. Let yourself be aware of your heart and your head again at the same time. And if you're able to feel your heart beating and your pulse in the middle of your head, let that feeling spread throughout your entire body, through your entire energy field. You are feeling that which you always were. And through your intentional consciousness, you are bringing it back. You're prioritizing your will to know that you already are. And as all the pain and dysfunction, things that happen around us seem to be, we don't take the bait anymore. And when somebody is projecting negativity or sorrow or pain, instead of taking it on, it deflects off of our coherent field. And at the same time, it empowers us to feel deep empathy and compassion for the person who is stuck in their own suffering. And after we do or have experiences like this multiple times, we start to become really good at transforming our own suffering and the suffering of the world into a trust for the life force, our awareness of that life force, into the source. We are creating a higher expression of what we always have been. And by coming together with others who are prioritizing knowing themselves as the innate intelligence, the bioelectromagnetic form of energy that we all are, the relationship we are intentionally forming with it literally unlocks all the blocks, all the resistance. You begin to realize that you're being empowered to perceive yourself and the world in a way that brings those greater coherent frequencies that you're feeling inside of you, to people, situation, places. Your coherence is being projected out into the world. And then suddenly things that happen in the world reinforce your commitment to being in harmony with you, with what allows you to be you. It is such a powerful feeling that suffering really has no choice but to become entrained. Suffering starts to become in harmony with the coherence that is there, and it changes form. It completely transformed from what it was into what it is, and then even more. What it is can start turning into what is possible. And what is possible, and your view of it is literally infinite. And at the same time, your ability to begin perceiving that at whatever level you want to is available to you. You're just building pathways that your life force flows through. You're giving them the potential to exist. And at the same time, you are amplifying the possibility of what you know you can evolve to. Everybody who wants to keep staying in this state, you can leave the call. For everybody that is still here, in your tummy, literally in your gut, let that be at total peace. Because the more peaceful you can allow that part of yourself to be, the more these hormones, all kinds of incredible metabolites of cellular function and composition, they too begin to become entrained by your own ability to sustain heart, brain, and whole body coherence. And the more you can relax your gut, the more you start being able to feel your pulse right in it. And the more you can relax and feel your pulse behind your belly button, the more your natural instinct is going to start to turn itself on. And through the coherence of your being, that instinct that is there, that you can literally feel in your gut, is being entrained by your relaxed sense of alertness. And when your instinct starts to come back, and the intuition in your heart is strong, then your ability to think in your head, they all start to harmonize together. And through the miraculous coherence of every part of your being, your personality becomes imbued with what that feeling of connection feels like. And now all of us together are on the way to deepening our relationship to life. And as we do that, we begin to form relationships with others that also are entrained by these natural states and our ever-growing awareness of them. And this is something to be happy about. So smile from your heart. Don't even think about it. Just smile and feel it in your heart. And allow every single part of your body to reverberate with the feeling of that smile through your heart. And let it light up your entire energy field with the 0 point right in the middle of your gut. See what it would feel like if the sun or a great orb of harmonious energy in our gut radiating outward, while at the same time we are receiving signals of greater coherence in the physical world around us. And memorize the feeling of that smile reverberating throughout your entire energy field. Memorize it. Tell it you love it. Let it know that you're ready to commit deeper to this most sacred connection and allow it to totally entrain your sense of self from here on out. So with that smile, take your hands, put it together, rub them, create some friction. But before we put them on our face, see if you can take the warmth that you just created in your hand and be aware of the water you brought. See if you're able to let that heat go into the water that you're going to drink by feeling your pulse in the water with the heat. And the heat is energy. It all is. When you start being able to feel your pulse external to you, and you become more aware that you are both sending and receiving greater frequencies of reality potential, the more that reinforces your ability to be in this world and let the energy of you entrain everything around you, starting with your water, and your endorsement of this process that you're smiling through. Just for a moment, like a little kid, just be so happy, so in awe, so innocent, and totally welcoming anything that comes, because you know you have the ability to face anything and everything. And take your hands again, really, really warm them up. Create friction and heat. And then take the palm of your hands and put them over your eyes. And if you see anything, make a note of it. If not, just feel that heat go into your eyes and down through all the neural pathways of your body that together we are building. And if anybody has anything they want to share or comment on, or if they know, if you know others who you feel would benefit from this work, please send this to them. And we're just beginning. If you feel ready, we will see you next time. Thank you, Greg. Bye, everybody. See you soon.
See you guys next week. Have a great week.